Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We will discuss about second part of the Poetics by Aristotle, the elements of tragedy or components of tragedy as defined by Aristotle. So these tragic components of tragedy that were defined by Aristotle, keeping in view Sophocles and Euphrates of his time, and that how can their tragedies or how can their dramas be more effective for the audience. So first of all, Aristotle defines tragedy as that something, an imitation that is having a serious action. Of course, when we talk about tragedy, we talk about something that is serious and having magnitude, complete in itself. That it should be complete in itself. There shouldn't be any flaw in its completion. There should, I mean, while watching, the audience must not think over it that there is some uh, flaw in the story. So, in the medium of poetic language and the manner of dramatic presentation, the medium should be poetic language. Like the characters on the stage, they should speak their dialogues in poetic forms as they are, reciting some verses of poetry. But their actions, their performance, that should be in dramatic form. Incidents arousing pity and fear, that is more important, that what we call catharsis. That whatever the incidents of tragedy they take place, they should create feelings of pity and fear among the audience. It shouldn't be like quite simple, but it should be having pity and fear for the audience, whereas to accomplish catharsis of such emotions. And then he defined here he, while defining tragedy, he is telling us two three things, Aristotle, that it should be serious, having magnitude, and it should be complete, and its language should be poetic but presentation in dramatic form. And the most important thing is having creating feelings of pity and fear for the hero or protagonist of the play. When the audience is watching, when you are watching any kind of movie, and when there is any kind of incident that takes place with the hero or with the protagonist of the play, then definitely the audience, whoever is watching the play, they feel some sort of some sort of pity for the characters, or for the main character. That is what we call the feelings of pity and fear. uh, then he talks about the components of tragedy. He actually says that there are six components of tragedy, that if there is any drama to call it a complete tragedy or call it a good tragedy, there are six elements: plot, character, thought, diction, song, spectacle. Well, talking about plot, plot means story of the play, that how it takes place, overall story of the play or drama. It is soul of the tragedy. Whatever the tragedy is, its prime effect, or the audience, they look at the plot of the play. Plot means the story or the sequence of the incidents. They look at it, that how they are arranged. And in plot, there is stress on unity, that there should be a single plot. It should not be multiple plot. Although Shakespeare used in many of his plays, there are multiple plots, but Aristotle says to make a tragedy more effective, there should be unity. There should be unity of plot. One plot should be there in a drama. One plot means that one story should take place, one protagonist, one hero, one heroine, or one kind of one type of incidents they should take place. Instead, I mean, if they are talking about once, they are talking about one man and woman, and after one act, the writer, he starts narrating some incidents about another family or about another hero or heroine. So it creates less impact, or it does not create catharsis among the audience when there are multiple plots. Creating pity and fear, catharsis, as I already told you. Plot in plot, while discussing plot, Aristotle says that it must have proper beginning, proper middle, and proper end. that the story it should takes place in a way that there should be a climax, there should be a end. The audience must move with the drama, the audience must move with the story, their feelings, they should be completely involved in whatever is happening on the stage in front of them. Because when Aristotle is talking about the dramas, he's talking about the dramas that they were performed on the stage. uh, and every part must be functional and relevant. That is quite common. I mean, if the audience, you want to keep the audience intact with your writing, with your play, with your acting, so the uh, elements or the incidents that they take place on the stage, they should be very relevant and they should be functional. Then he talks about the reversal of the situation. That is more important for the audience to have sympathy for the hero or for the protagonist. Like, and he talks about Hamartia. Hamartia is the reversal of the situation that leads to the sufferings of the protagonist. Like in a story, when it is moving, the story is going on, but suddenly something happens that actually completely reverses the situation, that whatever is going on, it completely becomes opposite to it. Like if you have read about Oedipus Rex, the most famous tragedy by Sophocles, he talks about when he talks about when we talk about Oedipus Rex, so there is a reversal of situation, that whatever Oedipus Rex is thinking, the things happen in another way. When he comes to know what is the reality, that was the reversal of the situation. Like he has killed his own father and then he marries his own mother, and that was the reversal of the situation. That creates more feelings of pity and fear among the audience for the for Oedipus, the protagonist, because it was not the fault, or it was not the mistake of the protagonist. It happened naturally. So something that happens by the error of judgment. So we call Hmartia, actually Hmartia means tragic flaw, or you can say it's error of judgment, error of judgment on the side of the hero. Like one protagonist, he is moving according to his mind, he is moving in the right direction without knowing what is happening to him, because he fails to understand the situation. In this way you can understand that sometimes you watch a movie that a villain comes and he damages the hero. It creates, according to Aristotle, if a villain or some other person is creating is damaging the hero, then it creates less feelings of pity and fear. But if a hero, he doesn't know, he's just moving in the way, in the right direction, but suddenly the situation changes in its own way, he fails to understand the situation, then it creates more pity and fear among the audience, or catharsis. The second part is character. Character means the main character, hero or the protagonist. So here he also describes the qualities or the characteristics of the hero. So in plot, one thing I have skipped here, there can be a simple plot and there can be a complex plot. These are two types of plot mentioned by Aristotle. So in character, the what kind of person the main character should be, or the hero or protagonist of that play should be. He should neither be very good, neither be very nor be very bad. Like if he's a good person, he should not be a good person, the one who is not having any flaws in his personality. Then he would be treated as an angel and it will not create any feelings of pity and fear, because humans, they are human, they are good, they are bad also. We cannot be good all the time, we cannot be bad all the time. So when he talks about the character, he says that it must not be very excellent, like a character who doesn't have any mistakes or any flaws, or it shouldn't be very bad that it doesn't have any positive aspect. So it should be a mixture of both, like a normal human being, it should be a common human being. There should not be any supernatural elements, because A person who is not having any flaws in his personality, it means he is supernatural, he is an angel or something, supernatural creation. But uh, to have feelings of pity and fear, catharsis, the he must be a common person having good qualities and bad qualities both. So character better than normal makes the tragic. If he's Aristotle says that if a writer takes a character that he talks about a like a king, so he must not be an ordinary person. His behavior in the play should not be like an ordinary king. He should be something above than the kings, better than the kings. If the character is described worse, more than worse as it should be, and more better as it should be, it creates feelings of pity and fear among the audience. Stronger, having stronger tragic elements. But if the character is taken having, not better than common, then it will not create any feelings or any stronger emotions of tragedy. And certainly, as I have already discussed about catharsis, Hmartia, sorry, error of judgment, like unfortunate, like something that happens to a person naturally, unfortunately, like someone else doesn't have given any harm to the hero, but he himself fails to understand the situation, and unfortunately, something happens to him that creates more stronger feelings of tragedy among the audience. And the most important quality of the character and the writer, Aristotle says that if a character or the writer through his writing, he creates such an impact in the audience that audience start moving with the characters and with the incidents. And yes, when we are watching a drama, when we are watching a movie, we put ourselves in the place of hero or heroine or in some certain characters, and we start thinking that if the same incidents happens to me, then what would be my response. So if the writer or the main hero, his characters, they speak in a way that they take audience along with them, so it means that they are creating more stronger tragic impact or tragic elements. Then we have thought. uh, I mean, when a drama is going on or a play is going on, there should be appropriate dialogues in a given situation. That whatever is relevant and whatever is appropriate. It shouldn't be uh, like whatever the incidents they are taking place, they should be within the plot, as we have already discussed. That they should not be the audience, they must not think that the writer is taking them some other way. So the characters and the words spoken by the characters on the stage, they should keep the audience intact. Contradiction in thought and situation weakens the tragedy. If there is, situation is something else, and the dialogue spoken or the thought presented by the writer and thought represented by the characters, it is different, then definitely it will not be having a stronger impact of tragedy on the audience. Then we have diction. Diction means language that we speak in every drama. What diction is? The words they express meanings, and the words actually, whatever the tragic elements or tragic impact is uh, told to the or performed on the stage, told to the audience, it is through the words. So diction is actually a medium of representation, that how do you represent, what kind of words or what kind of language you are using. Here Aristotle again says, as he describes his character, like language should be better than normal. Like if when a play is going on, if the common words or common sentences as spoken by the general people, they are spoken on the stage, they will not be having stronger impact of tragedy. They will not give any stronger impact on the audience. So to have stronger effect of tragedy, The words and the sentences spoken, they should be of high value. They should be better than normal. Like once you, when we are speaking our national language Urdu, we speak simple Urdu, but when we open the dictionary of Urdu, we come to know that there are very different words and very, thought-provoking phrases and idioms also. And same is the case with English. When we are normally speaking, we speak simple words, but when we read about some, authentic writings where there is formal language written, we come to know that it is much better than the normal. So diction, the words, the sentences, they should be better than normal. If they are normal, then it will, the drama or the play, it will lose its impact as tragedy. And when we talk about songs, uh, in Shakespeare plays also, in ancient Greek plays also, there was always songs are always present in the drama, and they were always sung in a chorus. Chorus means a group of people who stand in a circle and they start singing. And in dramas in ancient Greek, when those, the group of people or the chorus, they start singing songs in a group, they actually reflected something that has not been represented by the characters on the stage. Like when something that is missing on the stage, or the writer, he wants to convey some meaning that has not been presented by the characters or by through normal dialogues. So chorus and songs, they were used to tell us something about time, about what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen actually. So the most important stats is prediction about the future. Then we have spectacles. Spectacles are the scenes that are shown on the stage. That is, the stage managers, according to the directions of the director when they make it, and according to the writer. So whatever the scenes they are shown to the people, it also makes some impact. It have emotional significance of the events, like whatever the incidents they are taking place, the scenes on the stage, they should be relevant to it. And mostly this is done by the stage managers in normal words, but Aristotle says that the spectacles, they give uh, you know stronger impression on the audience if they are properly arranged. If the scenes and the backgrounds, they are properly arranged, it will have more impact on the audience, and it will make a good tragedy. Now, when we talk about catharsis, that pleasure, he says that it's pleasure of pity and fear. Pleasure of pity and fear, how can it be? Like in tragedy, how can we be pleased? I mean, when we're watching a comedy, we can be pleased, we may be happy, but while having a tragedy, it doesn't, normally thinking, it doesn't make any sense that how can it make us happy. So, happy here means to actually stir our emotions internally. That if we are watching a tragedy, this tragedy should be, uh, it should be a real tragedy that actually, touches our internal emotions, that uh, makes us think that the audience must think that they have seen something more tragic, something extraordinary, something better than normal. If such an impact is created on the reader, then it is a tragedy. Otherwise, if there is something missing, then it will lose its impact, or the tragic element will not have stronger effect on audience. When he talks, Aristotle says that there should be single plot, but in other place we've seen that there are multiple plots also. So at that time, when Aristotle says, he tells us about tragedy, telling us six elements that I have described, from plot to spectacle.